Hello, and welcome to the first podcast. So, the reason why I'm doing the podcast basically is because I feel like there's a lot of misconception, there's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of information out there which it can be very hard to actually find something that's practical. And I see a lot of people who have got the right intentions, they're putting energy in, they're putting effort in, they're dedicated, but I don't feel like they're getting the best results. Mainly because they don't have any education, they don't have any training, they lack the experience, but I think it comes to a point where you don't know what you don't know. Like, if you don't know that you're doing something wrong, then how would you have the sort of perception to look into it to try and learn? If you think what you're doing is right, then you're going to carry on doing it. So I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I've been trying to figure out the best way to do it, and I've realised that the only way to do it is to just be myself, be me, talk about things that I can relate to and my ideas, my opinions, things that I've learned, things that I've experienced, and just kind of take it from there, really. So, as I said, this is episode number 1. Got no idea what I'm going to call it. The idea is for this sort of episode is that I want to sort of concentrate on my personal beliefs on health and fitness and the kind of difference between the two, and how I feel it would be beneficial for you to kind of go about the whole sort of journey on figuring out how to become healthier, happier, and more in shape, really. So the first thing I want to kind of drill down into is the whole health and fitness kind of phrase, the term, the name for the industry. I feel like fitness should come secondary, always. I feel like the only people that should be allowed to even consider that in terms of fitness being a priority are professional athletes. But then again, they don't do it for their entire lives. It's mainly, a couple of years, especially if it's like, a high impact sport, then, it's a couple of years. If it's something like golf or, running, then I do feel like health should be a very big priority. But for the grand scheme of things, 99.9% of people on the planet, health is number one, 100% number one. But I don't want you to sort of think that I'm going to go down the whole, you have to do yoga every day and only drink green tea, and you're not allowed to lift weights or sort of be super physically active. That's definitely a part of health. But I would say that generally speaking, you want to prioritize health because that will allow you to do the fitness side of it. Whereas if you focus on the fitness side too much, you can get injured. You might not have got the best sort of energy within your body. Your body could potentially start and break down in terms of, you don't have the sort of core strength. You've not got the right balance between, upper body and lower body, left and right. You might have not got the best mobility, and you don't have the dexterity in your fingers and your toes. So when you get old, you could have a lot of troubles with diseases and issues with your body and stuff like that. And I think if you have a focus on health throughout your entire life, 1, you'll feel better. 2, I feel like you'll get more done in your life. So if you're a healthy person, you're more likely to have a better career, have better relationships, have a better relationship with yourself. And I think, just generally speaking, healthier people can become fit people easier than a super fit person sort of building a very fit and able body on top of bad foundations. It's like, if you build a house on uneven foundations, you could build an amazing house, but one little slip in those foundations and the entire house comes crumbling down. Whereas I feel like if you have a really good, strong foundation, which is health, then when you want to build the fitness on top of it, it's going to be a lot easier and in the long run, much safer and much more effective. So that's in as brief as a nutshell as I can manage, because I sometimes talk for England and waffle on quite a lot. That's why I personally believe that health is much more of an important priority than fitness. And I'm speaking from personal experience as well. Like, I used to be the type of person that, I was fitness. I've been lifting weights for like 10 years. I've gone into CrossFit for a little bit and done a little bit of coaching there, as well as some really low-level competitions. I've competed in low-level strongman. I used to be really big and massive. I've done a little bit of downhill mountain biking, but no competing in that. I've messed around with some yoga, lots of types of stretching. Did martial arts for about 12 years, different types of martial arts, and played rugby for a little bit as well. So I used to be the type of person, my split between health and fitness was probably about 10 to 15, maybe 20% health, and then, the 80 to 90% fitness. I used to be huge into fitness. I would train multiple times a week. Like, I think it used to range anywhere from sort of 4 times a week to maybe like 16 sessions a week. And they were all sorts of like strength work, conditioning work, mobility work, technique work, and then you had all the, like, a couple of martial arts classes in there. I would go on for a run or two. I'll also, as well as all the sort of experience and stuff, I'm a qualified personal trainer, and I'm qualified in sports massage therapy as well. So I do have that sort of classroom, textbook, academic knowledge as well. I've trained clients for quite a while. I don't have any paying clients at the minute, but I do still like train family members and friends and help them out. So I've still got my finger on that pulse, as well as, I used to actually work in a gym training people, had really good results with my clients. And like I say, I've taught martial arts, I've taught CrossFit, I've been on these seminars, and still to this day I still learn and educate myself on it, as well as going to see like a chiropractor and get sports massages and stuff like that. So I've always been in and around that sort of world. And then, I've kind of feel like I've accumulated enough experience and knowledge now where I can sort of give something back and help. So that's kind of what the idea of the podcast and stuff like that is. Also, I have a TikTok account, so if you're on TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that, I just generally want to sort of start and make an awareness of my opinion on the best way to do it. And I've sort of been guided and directed from very experienced people as well. So a lot of what I kind of know are things that I've kind of have explained to me, and then I'll go off and do my own research and sort of use that to sort of experiment with my own body and my own health and my own energy to see how it feels. And then if I have good results from it, I talk to my friends or my clients when I used to train people, and get them to try it out and try different things and see how they felt. And I've got to say, like, I know it's not a case of one size fits all and not one shoe fits every foot, but within health and fitness, the principles behind it are identical for everybody. Like, it's really easy to overcomplicate health and fitness because there are so many categories, and it's very specific for you, and then you compared to where you want to get, that path is completely unique to you. But in terms of the principles behind all of that they work for everybody. And there's 2 principles. You need to move, and you need to have healthy things going into your body. And notice I didn't say you need to eat healthy and you need to exercise, because they're 2 very different ways of kind of stating it. So if you eat healthy and you do exercise, well, that's all well and good, but are you in a job that you don't like? Do you have digestion issues because your posture's poor? So then you can't absorb the foods that you eat. And are you drinking like unclean water? Are you in an environment on a daily basis which causes you a lot of stress? So then your hormones are out of balance, which again just does a whole load of things to your body, which moves you away from being a healthy person. Whereas you can be in the gym all week and have big muscles, and you've got a really good 10K time, but is that really a super important thing in the grand scheme of life. You know, like the one thing that the one thing that I choose to focus on when I do any type of movement, is, am I going to benefit from doing this in 50 years time? So things like doing yoga, things like making sure you have balance within your body. Are you structurally out of whack? You know, things like if you only ever do strength training but you never do any sort of cardiovascular work, then you might have a really good muscular system, but like, do you ever take care of your you might have got a muscular system, but do you ever take care of your heart health? Do you ever actually do a proper stretching session after you've lifted the weights? And when you do stretch, are you taking note whether you've got one side more balanced to the other? So all of this type of stuff is, I just take for granted that I know how to do it, you know? Like I'll go into the gym, or I'll go for a swimming session, or I'll go for a run, or I'll do some yoga, or I'll do a kettlebell session at home or something like that. And everything that I do has all of that structured in, because that's just what I've learned to do. I've been in exercise and health and all that sort of stuff for nearly 20 years now. I started my first martial arts class when I was 6. Did that up until I was like 16, carried on doing it for a couple more years after, but then I started, you know, strength and conditioning, got into the whole sort of massage stuff, started PTing people. So I've got a lot of experience, and I've worked with many different types of people, and the one thing that I can safely say is that moving around, whatever you choose that is for you, just getting some kind of movement in your body and having good stuff being put in there as well. So, you know, not watching, you know, the news channel if there's negative news, not listening to, you know, negative people, and allowing those sort of opinions and stuff, you know, latch onto you, understanding, doing things like meditation and getting out of your own head and getting into your heart, and not being like, not allowing that anxious energy to sit in your brain. And then because you've got all this crazy stuff going on, you can then start to move over to like, you know, substances and food, and then you've got all the addictions that can kind of come in with trying to escape whatever stuff's going on in your life that you can't handle. And I feel like I've had experiences with that before. You know, I've had my addictions. I've had a lot of trouble in the past with accepting myself and loving myself, and knowing that there are things that you can do outside of, you know, consuming a lot of stuff, like whether it's food, whether it's you know, what else is like drugs, alcohol, smoking, all that type of stuff that is it's a temporary distraction from what sort of stuff's going on inside of you, and that's again another part of the health sort of awareness that I want to get out and start to create, because I don't feel like people understand that all of that stuff is a part of a whole. And I do believe that a lot of industries can get caught up in focusing on their specific role. So you know, you might go to someone who's super good at yoga, and they're very good at the physical flexibility side of stuff, but they might not understand the stuff to do with mindset. Most yoga instructors do, from what I've met. But let's say you go to someone who's just stretching, it's not yoga. So they might be really good at getting you flexible, but do they understand how that ties in with strength training? And do they understand the importance of strength training? And then does that person understand the importance of posture and how that ties in with all of the stuff within the body, and how that can help balance out the structure of your body so that the strength training improves, but then you have the flexibility so that you have the movement within the muscles to allow the strength training to take place. And then does the strength trainer understand how the core integrates the body and gets it to work as a whole? And then if you think about the fact that you could have all of that boxed off, so you're physically absolutely good, but then you go to a job that you hate, and then that fucks with your head, and then you stress eat at work, so then that's fucking up that sort of stuff, and then that's, again, the whole has got a chunk missing out of it. And what I want to do is create that awareness that you need to look at all these different parts and have them just in some way positive. Like, you don't need to have it perfect. That's another thing. Like, there's no such thing as perfection. You should always try and strive to improve a weakness. Don't be shy of it. Which again, I've done many times. I'm not under any illusion that it's not easy. But I do feel like with the right direction, it becomes a lot more practical. And when you have someone that can give you some practical advice, especially when they've been there, they've worked through hard times, and then they've got to somewhere that they're happy with, I do believe it's much easier. So hopefully that's something that I can do. I feel like I've got enough to be able to give, and I know what I'm talking about because I've done it with other people and I've done it with myself, and I've been in a shit place that I've had to dig myself out of a few times. So I don't feel like there's much that anybody could sort of throw at me that I've not dealt with personally or helped other people with. So yeah, enough about me though. And this needs to be more about you guys. So like, one thing that I do want to kind of sort of specifically drill into is energy. And don't worry, I'm not going to go too hippie on you just yet. But in terms of energy, I mean the actual amount of energy that you have in a day or a week. So I'll back up a little bit. What I said earlier in terms of there's two parts to the health and fitness side. There's the movement and there's what you allow into your body. Now, for me, energy is a super big one because that basically dictates how much stuff you can do. If you're really low energy, you're burnt out, you can't do anything. If you've got loads and loads of energy, you can do loads of stuff. Now, I think that just for right now, what I want to kind of go through is just a general awareness. So I want you to open your eyes, open your mind in terms of understanding and starting to get a feel for what type of things sort of raise your energy. What sort of things raise your energy and what sort of things lower your energy. So some examples might be work. You might be the type of person that goes to work, really enjoys it, or goes to your business, or do whatever you do to get an income, and you get loads of energy out of it. So that's great because you get good energy out of that. If you go to work and by the end of work you're drained, and you're like, you wake up in the morning and it's like, oh man, I've got to go to work, and then you've got that anxiety or that sort of just that you've got to fight to get into work. You're using up that energy, yeah? You only have a certain amount of that energy in the day. And you go to work and you've got these negative people who are pulling your energy out of you. You need to be very aware that that is something that you need to look at and consider changing if you can. Even if you have a break, move to a different department, look for a different career, get educated in something else that you enjoy. Just do something, if you can, for that specific area that will maybe not bring you up here, but if this is neutral, if you go to your job and you really are completely neutral about it, rather than being down there, is there something that you can do that can pull you here? And then once we've got that, so you're just filling that gap in. Again, we're not striving for perfection, we're striving for improvement. And if you can make an improvement in your work, and then you can start to do some type of movement a few times a week, again, whether it's swimming, running, doing yoga, exercise, Pilates, fitness classes, just something that creates a little bit of movement. And if you're not doing any, then again, we're going from down here to here. Nutrition, if you can start to cut out some of the bad foods and start introducing some more vegetables, a little bit of fruit, some good meats that are very well sourced, or you can try cutting out meats if you do eat a lot, just again to see how it feels for you. Don't be afraid of experimenting. If you do something and it doesn't quite feel right, that's good because you've learned that something doesn't feel right. Again, it's about having that awareness of what adds to your energy, what takes away from your energy. People, whether it's family members, friends, your spouse, people at work, people that you just associate with, Are they people that when you spend time with them, they raise your energy, they add to it, you feel like you're having a good time, you're enjoying it, you can be yourself, you don't have to sort of, have any issues with that sort of social part? Or do you spend time around friends that do bad things and, they're complaining, they're very negative? Have you got family members who always seem to have something going wrong in their life and they want to like explain it all and drag it all out? Because again, if rather than sort of going here and cutting everybody out of your life completely, because that's just sometimes not feasible, you might want to just minimize your time spent with one or two people. Just to, again, we're not trying to get here, we're just trying to move up a little bit. And if you can generally do that type of thing across sort of different aspects of your life, then kind of going full circle, you start to have more energy for yourself. And then what you can do is you can just basically have that energy. Because I feel like in order to start and do the whole health and fitness thing, it does require effort. It does require energy. You have to learn things. It's not an overnight sort of click a button and that's it. You're now healthy and fit for life. It's something that takes continual improvement and work, and it can take a while to understand your body in the best way. Like if you're someone who's never done any exercise and you've never eaten healthy food, it's such a daunting thing to start. Which is why I want to kind of explain the fact and get across to you that you can start with one area. And that could be like you keep everything exactly the same in your life, apart from you go for one walk 3 times a week. That's it for 10 minutes. That's all you do for the first couple of weeks. You just go for a walk and listen to some happy music. Okay, cool. That's all right. And that's just something that you started. You've started doing some movement. You started doing something in terms of energy because you're putting this happy music into your body. So that might be the difference between you feeling, really shit and really crap to feeling, I feel pretty good this week. Yeah, I feel pretty good this week. And then you could start to cut out a little bit of the bad food and start eating a few more vegetables. And then you think, okay, I'm feeling pretty good now. Okay, I'm kind of liking this. I feel like I've got a little bit more energy now. So maybe rather than going for 3 walks, I could go for 2 walks and then take a yoga class. And then you'll start to get to know how your body feels a little bit. And, you're feeling good now. You're associating with some positive people, which, again, we've not removed anybody from your life, but we've added in some more positive energy. So then we start to raise up a little bit more. And you just go through that process. And if you're someone who already, have started this process, or you've been doing it for a long time, then you can always figure out ways to improve it. Like if you're someone who does loads of exercising and you're super good with your nutrition, what's your flexibility like? What's your social group like? Do you have a good relationship with yourself? Do you meditate? Are you all in your head and you're very head driven, and you can learn to relax a little bit, meditate and detach a little bit from this state of trying to achieve and all that sort of stuff. So no matter where you are on the puzzle or the ladder or the journey or in your own life, I do feel like if you've generally got a good awareness of where you're spending your energy and the sort of stuff that you can do that will add into your energy, if you can improve that awareness and then start to make some small changes, it will help. There is no 2 ways about it. If you do things that work, it will help. And it might be that you don't know where to start. So I would start off on something that that you can do. Don't bite off a massive piece and get overwhelmed and get paralyzed by it. Start off and do something really small, like go for a walk twice a week for 10 minutes, listening to good music. It's the most basic thing that you can do. But the thing is, and this is something that I got from Jordan Peterson, is you want to tell yourself that you're going to do something so small that that you can do it. And then when you do it, you can like pat yourself on the back and say, you know, good job to me, I did that. And then that reinforces some self-confidence. It's like, okay, I've done that, I can do it. I said I was going to do something and I've done it. Now I can do something else. And what you've done there is you've added in that positive energy, but towards yourself. So that relationship with yourself is getting better. And then as a result of all this, if you are someone who might be thinking, oh, well, this sounds a little bit selfish, I'm focusing entirely on myself. You are. But the beautiful thing about that is when you have more energy, you have more energy to be able to give to other people. There's no way. If you get an orange and you juice all of the life out of that orange on other people, then when it's left, there's nothing. There's nothing for the orange, and there's nothing for anybody else because you've squeezed every last drop out of it. Whereas if you have an orange tree which continually creates oranges, the metaphor for us creating more energy within our body, then you can take an orange off, and a couple of days later you can take an orange off, and then a couple of days later you can take an orange off. So you've ended up with more oranges, and you've still got a healthy tree that's growing and providing more. You understand where I'm going with this? If you can create a lifestyle where you add more energy in through systematically over time, trying different things, experimenting, pulling things out of your life and adding them back in, whether it's through exercise, through nutrition, through socializing, sleep, hydration, all things like this, that they're all going to add into the big puzzle, which is you, okay? And I think that is where I'm going to kind of leave it. I've got through all the main stuff that I wanted to get through, and I've gone around the houses like I normally do, but hey, it's my podcast, so I can do what the fuck I want. So yeah, I hope that's been a little bit eye-opening, if nothing else, because I do believe that people want to get started, people want to make movements, they want to get healthy and they want to get fit, they want to look better, they want to feel better, but it's very complicated and it's very scary going into a gym or signing up for a membership, and you don't want to spend loads of money on a package, which is why my podcast is free. Do you know what I mean? I'm never going to charge for giving out my ideas and my experience, and hopefully I can start to help people, because it's easy, guys. Trust me, once you get over that first hurdle, once you start to actually understand that you want to consume things for the betterment of your energy, saying no to bad food becomes way easier. Saying no to going on, a crazy night's drinking becomes easier, because, and this is why I kind of mentioned meditating earlier, guys, because I don't want to go into it too much, but for me, having an understanding of you need to focus on yourself, but not doing it from a selfish, you are kind of doing it from a selfish place, to be fair. Like, I'm not even going to lie. You have to be selfish about this type of stuff, because if not, you end up giving all of your energy to other people, and then you're left with nothing. And then if you're left with nothing, then you're no good to anybody. And that's just not cool. That's not right. Like, you want to have all this energy and you want to enjoy this beautiful life and be able to exercise and move and feel good about yourself. Like, there is nothing better than being healthy and sober. Trust me. Take it from someone who's been very unsober for what was a very long time. And I was very unhappy as well. And now I'm not in that place. I much prefer being here. Like, it's uncomparable. So no matter what situation you're in, remember, start small and do things that you enjoy. If you hate walking but you love swimming, go for a swim. Like, don't do something that's gonna take up your energy to do it. Like, the reason I personally go to the gym is because I love going to the gym. I love lifting weights, I love exercising, I love having loads of people there, I love like communicating and seeing people and saying hello to people that I normally like. I like the fact that all the equipment that I could ever want is there. It's open 24 hours, 24/7. I can get a shower there and bounce out. If you're someone who freaks the fuck out when you think about going to a gym, don't join up into a gym, okay? Do some yoga at home. Get a YouTube video and do some free yoga. Do what makes you happy. And if you don't know because you've never done it, try different stuff, okay? That's the only way that you're going to figure it out. Try a yoga class. Try a Pilates class. Try a free boot camp. Try doing a stretching session, try going for a walk, try going for a swim, take some swimming lessons. You know, just as long as you're doing something which moves your body, and you consume less bad stuff, whether it's music, people, food, drinks, and you try to consume a little bit more of the good stuff, then you're moving in the right direction. And as long as you have that focus in you're just going to move a little bit, and then you're just going to move a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and you're enjoying the process, so you keep going, and it keeps going, and it's been a week, and it's been a month, and it's been 6 months, and it's been a year, and you're a whole different person, and you're like, holy fuck, well fucking done to me. So yeah, just try different stuff, enjoy the process, don't overthink it, and that's it. I'm going to end it there. So I hope I've not bored you to death. It's been 30 minutes. I was only going to try and do 10 to 15, so I'm happy that I stuck to that. But I mean, I've been overthinking this. Like, don't think that I'm someone who's super perfect and I don't have any fucking problems and I've figured it all out, because I've been wanting to do this for months. And then I just thought, you know what? I'm going to do one episode. I'm going to talk about a few things, and I'm just going to see what happens. And I feel like I've done a pretty good job. I don't know. Nobody might ever watch this. But I mean, I've enjoyed it personally, and that's all that matters. If somebody else benefits out of this, then that's absolutely insane. But again, just to I practice what I preach. I do things that I enjoy. I don't spend time with people who I feel like pull my energy out of me too much. I prioritize myself. But last night, I was super healthy all day yesterday. And then last night I had a massive piece of cookie dough with a piece of cheesecake on top. Because, well, I mean, my nephew ordered it and it was really kind of him. But hell, it was good and I enjoyed it. Like, the balance with everything, guys. Don't feel like anybody in this world is absolutely perfectly whistle clean. Don't try and aspire to be that. So yeah, I'm starting to waffle now. I could have a waffle today, but I'm not going to because I had a bad one yesterday. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed. There will be a comment box below. I don't know where I'm going to post this. It's going to probably be on YouTube and Spotify and all that kind of jazz. If you have any feedback, any questions, any concerns, any comments at all, whether it's constructive or like just praise, please give them. I'm 100% open to anything like that. So yeah, thank you for taking the time to watch this. I really appreciate it, and I will get another video out super soon and hopefully continue to carry on helping and move on this journey through life. Peace.